Coming up on the Empowered Woman podcast.
I believe that an empowered woman is a woman that stands by her instincts, her moral compass. An empowered woman finds women within their own community that inspire them and allows them to be empowered, not having somebody shut you down.
Welcome to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on visibility strategies for women entrepreneurs. If you want to get empowered to be seen, stand out on social media, stages, TV, and more to make an impact with your voice and business, you're in the right place. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Marcia Spurk, and I'm your host, professional singer and visibility strategist. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode. One thing I don't talk about enough is the impact podcasting has had on my professional life and how it opened so many doors for me. So if you want to start a podcast or you want to level up your current one, then you need to work with my podcast strategist, Juliana Barbati. She owns a podcast marketing and production agency, and her team takes care of everything from editing and optimizing to scheduling for you, making this process a breeze for you. She's seriously the best. All her info is in the show notes. You can go to julianabarbati.com and tell her I sent you. Hey, neurodivergent entrepreneur. Do you feel overwhelmed and exhausted by your to-do list? Well, it's not your fault. Increase your ease, impact, and income by learning to work with the way you are wired. Take the Intensities quiz right now to understand more about yourself, get strength-based tips, and join free virtual support calls to tackle challenging tasks. Go to intensityhub.com right now to get started. Hi, Lorna. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Marcia. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to our conversation.
Me too. We were just talking before I hit record about how we've known each other for so many years. You were one of the first ladies that joined my membership, the Empowered Woman School, and it's fun to have stayed connected, but also now to be reconnected and catching up. And I'm super excited to share more of you with my podcast audience. So why don't you go ahead and tell us who you are and what you do?
Sure. So my name is Lorna Carlson. I also go by Cookie Carlson, the Lorna June Cookie. So that's how I get that nickname, just so the audience knows. I'm trying to expand my horizons as I venture into my 62nd year of life on planet Earth. So that's a little bit about me as far as the name goes. I am a military U.S. Army veteran, very proud of that. And I'm now using that platform to not just serve myself, which I think sometimes with the ego we can do, to help serve other veteran women out there in the world, not just in Colorado. Mm-hmm. To back up just a little bit about my career, my business. So like I just said, I served in the military. I got out after 6 years, traveled around with my ex-husband and raised our kids. So I had the opportunity to live in Europe for about 5 years, which was a wonderful experience. Lived in multiple different states within the United States. So I was a mom and wife for many years, married for 26 years. Upon my husband's retirement, we moved here to Colorado in 1997. Shortly after that, I started going back to college, graduated from Metro State University with a degree in behavioral science and a minor in elementary education. Right after that, I started working as a public school teacher for Aurora Public Schools at Pierce Elementary. Second language learners, many of my students being immigrants. So I got to experience that, which is one of the best things I ever did for myself. After I left teaching, I ventured into human resources and recruiting, corporate recruiting. So I did that for about 10, 11 years off and on. And now I have a real estate license and I'm venturing into property management, but also the buy-sell side. Additionally, what I'm doing, because I do have a story that I want to share, I'm in the process of writing a book about my experience with being a woman veteran, and I'm also diagnosed with PTSD. And so I just started a nonprofit called Women Veterans United. And with that nonprofit, I want to help other women veterans that experience some of the things I've gone through, along with housing and job situations and how to navigate the VA. So
that's wonderful. Well,
yeah.
First of all, thank you so much for your service, and thank you for your bravery in stepping out to share this, to encourage other women that are veterans as well. And very inspiring that you have gone in different careers, in different fields, in different industries, and that now, after having built so much in your life, you're going back to where you sort of started.
Yeah.
Right. So inspire. And that is very exciting news about your nonprofit. So tell us more about, since there's so many different things we could pick apart here and walk through. And we were just talking about, we have December birthdays, and it's almost like we have lived many lives in one, because we can never be idle for very long. So I totally resonate with that. But going back into the PTSD, because I know that that's something that we can't talk about it enough. It's something that needs awareness and needs to be brought up to educate people that may not be aware, and also for the ones that have not been diagnosed and then are struggling with it. So I'd love for you to share a little bit more about your story.
Sure. So after my divorce, I needed health care, and I ventured into the Veterans Administration. So since about 2009, the VA has been my primary health care. And I'll tell you, I can't say enough good things about my personal experience with the Veterans Administration healthcare. And I see it ever expanding to continue to help not just women, but people. I think the VA understands that there are issues such as PTSD, and also what is growing. And even for myself, I'm coming out and speaking about it, is military sexual trauma. A lot of women experience that. And of course, with that, there was some PTSD.
Yeah.
So several years ago, I was diagnosed with PTSD. They went through pretty stringent testing to verify that fact. It's not easily diagnosed. So, of course, with that comes depression and anxiety, which I do. I don't want to say suffer from, but I do have. I'm not on a spectrum necessarily, good, bad, or whatever.
Yeah.
But, we all have good days, and we all have days that maybe not as good as others.
Right.
But I think what really separates military women and first responders in particular, because as I venture more into this field of PTSD, first responders also suffer from PTSD. I mean, can you imagine, having to see some of the things that maybe emergency medical services people have to witness and feel and hear and see, not just maybe once a week, but probably on a daily basis. So what I'm doing is right now writing my own story. And of course, everybody's story is different, but one of my goals is to get in front of veteran women, but also first responders, and help people not be afraid to seek out help. The statistics show us, for veterans in particular, that there are 22 veterans a day that commit suicide. And I think that's an awful high number.
Yeah.
It's really disturbing, quite frankly. And I have my own experiences around that. I don't want to get into the specifics right now today with that, but that's part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. So my company, my real estate business, is called Veterans Property Management. We help anybody and everybody. However, my niche community is really veterans all over the state of Colorado and nationally, quite frankly, because people move and they need property management. They decide that they don't want to sell and rent out their property, which is a wonderful thing to do, no matter what the economy is like.
Yeah.
Buying real estate for most people is a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So my perspective is, why not keep that real estate property and allow somebody that you trust to manage it? So that's one of the things I do, but I also do buy, sell.
Okay.
And I can advise people because, of course, I know people within the community that are contractors and so forth. So that's one aspect of what I'm doing. So speaking in front of people, writing my story. Also, like I was telling you before we started recording, I just am getting off the ground my nonprofit organization for veteran women. It's not just PTSD or military sexually trauma related. It can be for anything and everything. I'm also a certified yoga and meditation instructor. And of course, with my teaching background, I thought, why not use these talents, quite frankly, that I have to help other women that may be needing to navigate the VA system. Of course, it is a government entity, and sometimes it can be a little bit daunting, and where to go and who to talk to and who to trust with information. So that's part of what my nonprofit and my goal for the next part of my life journey is going to be.
I love that. I love that you are stepping into that place of, I have done so much with my life and I know so much, and I'm not just going to sit here with this information. I'm going to share it. I'm all for that. We got to share our gifts with the world because there's a reason why we were drawn to those things and we did all those things. So now we can share that wisdom. Hey, let me ask you a question. Would you like to be my next guest on the Empowered Woman podcast? Do you have a story you'd like to share? Want more visibility for your business on a show ranked in the top 0.5% in the world? Well, then head on over to martasburg.com/podcast guest for more information. I'd love for you to share a little bit more about the process of starting the nonprofit, because that is something that I think many people don't know what it takes, and the bureaucracies and all the different things that are involved. Also, for the people that are thinking, I would like to do that, but it seems like such a big mountain and they just keep putting it off. And that's usually what happens with our big dreams, right? We're like, I would love to do that, but it is just a dream and maybe in another life. And you have proven with your story so far that we can tackle so much and go through so much in one lifetime. So why not? So tell us more.
So, well, again, thank you, Marta. And I want to say one thing, that I believe my faith has a lot to do with my perseverance.
Yes.
Without my faith, I would not be where I'm at today. And also a community of people that have really helped me in so many ways. I don't think sometimes people realize the little things that they say and do can really have a big impact on somebody. And even at that moment, like myself, you may not think a small conversation is anything, but then as you process information, you're like, wow, that person really helped me see myself in a different way. So I think part of the process of a nonprofit is ultimately being authentic in yourself. Be, like you said, brave, because it does take some bravery to start anything, not just a nonprofit, but a business. You're putting yourself out there. And we know about Google reviews, so people can say the good, bad, ugly.
Right.
And it's really overcoming the worrying about what other people think about me. And that's why you need that community around you, like you. You and I have known each other for quite some time. I've seen you grow as a woman, as a mother. I've seen your children grow, and you are truly amazing. You are such an inspiration, and you're one of those people that I've always looked to and you inspire. So I think really being authentic in yourself is the first step in starting anything, but really a nonprofit. And then I think really part of starting a nonprofit is defining your mission statement. What is it that you want to accomplish? Now, that doesn't mean the mission statement isn't going to change over time. We can rewrite our story, we can rewrite the mission statement. But because again, as you meet different people, your thoughts and processes change. But keeping the end goal in mind is, I think, so important. And again, for me, it's women, veterans, and first responders, and in particular, women that are first responders. And that can include not just people in the medical field, police, fire, but that can also include teachers because they're first responders in many ways. I know as a teacher, I often felt like a social worker more than a teacher because we really do have to respond to our students' needs. And when you're working with a particular group of students, they have needs that maybe higher socioeconomic students may not have. I'm not saying they don't, but may not have. So that again goes to the mission statement. But teachers, I think, definitely are first responders in many ways, and nurses and so forth. So I think keeping the mission statement clear, or at least right in front of you so you can adapt and change and grow, and keeping that community of trusted other like business people close to you is so important. And then I think where I'm at right now, not where I think I'm at, but where I'm at is finding the appropriate people to be on my board of directors. I want to work with women and men that were in the military, potentially have experienced some of the things themselves, or those people can direct me to other people. So right now, building the committee, the board of directors, these are, again, going to be trusted people that can help guide me. And I say company, but it is a company in the right direction. And so that when we go out into the community, we are trusted people within the community. So I think essential. And I keep saying the word trust. It's so essential because how can we be authentic if we don't trust the people that we're talking to or working with? So I really think that that's part of the process that I'm going through right now.
That's wonderful. Well, I love the advice, being authentic, having that mission statement, knowing that it may change, but starting with that vision, right? And at times it's hard to come up with something, but until you're prompted, right? In a moment like this, and especially in starting a business, you said, it is a company. You have to have that in mind, even if it evolves, and then finding the right people to support you and to be part of that. Do you have any specific date for the book release, or you're just getting started with that? I'm looking forward to it.
I would love to have a book release sometime early next year.
Okay.
I am currently working with, or I should say, I will be working with, but I've been advised by her. And she has her own book that inspired me. I don't have it in front of me right now. You probably know her, but she works with authors on many different types of books and writing. So I'm working with her. She will do some editing with me on my book. And I'm actually going back to my childhood because I do have some events in my childhood that obviously led me to where I'm at today. So I would say early next year.
Okay, that's exciting. I'll be on the lookout for that. Well, before we wrap up, I like to ask all my guests my $1 million question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Lorna or Cookie, what is an empowered woman then?
Oh, gosh. I believe that an empowered woman is a woman that stands by her instincts, her moral compass, so to speak.
Yes.
There are so many people, so many different women out there in different industries. But I think that an empowered woman finds women within their own community that inspire them and allows them to be empowered, not having somebody shut you down.
Mm-hmm.
So I think standing your ground and using your own authentic voice, that really is what I would classify as an empowered woman.
So true. I love that. Goes back to that authenticity piece that you talked about.
Yeah.
Too. Well, tell us more how people can find you, how the women that want to be involved in a nonprofit can find more information. Where can we go?
Sure. So I think the easiest way to find me, there's a couple different ways, but is looking my company up on the internet, the lovely internet.
Yes.
And my company's name is Veterans Property Management, veteranspropertymanagement.com. There is a phone number on my website, and that phone number is 720-628-9646. You can call or text that number if you're interested in finding out more about Veterans Property Management or becoming part of the Veterans Women's United.org network. You may know a veteran woman that may be interested in that or needs some guidance. One of the things I'm also doing is guiding women with their VA benefit claims.
Wonderful.
So I do know some people in the community free of charge that can help women. And just a FYI, you can be out of the military for 30, 40 years and still make a VA claim. And if anybody is interested in learning more about that, or again, the property management, please don't be shy. Feel free to reach out. And of course, I'm in a few different networking groups. I'm being very selective in the groups that I participate in. And I would be happy to talk with you. We can do a one-on-one coffee chat. It doesn't have to just be about business.
Wonderful. Well, I'll make sure and put all the information in the show notes. And again, encouragement to the ladies out there that are veterans or know somebody to share this info so that they can connect with Lorna. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your story, and congratulations on all the amazing work you're doing out there.
Thank you so much, Marta. I look forward to talking with you again and seeing you.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope this episode empowered you. And if you enjoyed the show, please join the Empowered Woman community on Facebook and share with friends or leave a review on iTunes so more people can discover this empowering message. Until next time, bye.